Hi, welcome to Making a Better Me. Doing a little bonus video here with my wife Leanne. I wanted to talk about a couple of things that have happened over the last 6 months or so, 8 months maybe. A few things have happened in that time, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster, and we wanted to share a little bit with you. Mostly this video is about Leanne return to work, but we'll do a brief recap of things that have happened in the last few months for us. So we'll start off with Leanne starting to feel better. As many of you know, she was in a depression and has been off work for over a year. And but as you can see, and as you've probably heard and know, she has come out of the depression. But we wanted to talk a little bit about that and talk about her new job. So I'll hand it over to you for a moment. And when did you start feeling better?
I started feeling better around the end of February.
Good stuff. So that was a huge relief, and certainly made our lives a lot better. And at that time, you were probably excited and trying to figure out how you could get back to school.
Absolutely. That's always my biggest concern when I'm not able to teach due to being in a depressive episode. So knowing that I was out of the depression, my thinking was clear once again. I was able to plan things. I had energy, just all those horrible symptoms that go with depression were gone. And so yeah, the first thing I did was get on the phone with my rehab specialist to see how we could set up a graduated return to work.
Okay. So now before that even started, we had a bit of a setback. So as most of you know, or many of you know, in May, at the beginning of May, Leanne's mom got quite sick. She had an aneurysm and spent some time in the hospital. Do you want to talk about this, or do you want me to? I can just keep going.
You go ahead.
Okay, so at that time, she spent about 2 months in Halifax Hospital, and Leanne, really did a lot. She was back and forth almost every single day. She was keeping, updates for most of Thora's friends and family, and people that that wouldn't be in direct contact. Leanne was keeping everybody up to date, and going back and forth and trying to take care of whatever things that her mom needed, advocating for her in the hospital and things like that. So, even though she wasn't working, she was very, very busy and had a lot of things going on. And honestly, I'm very thankful that she wasn't working, because there's no way she would have been able to do, all those things that she was doing had she been teaching at that time. So
Very hard.
yeah, it would have been impossible. There's no way you could have done the things you were
I would
doing.
have had to see if I could take a little bit of time off somehow.
Yeah. So anyways, so move forward a couple of months, and Leanne's mom has come home from the hospital. She actually came home from the hospital. She got transferred to Truro in June.
Yes.
And then she came home on July 8th. So, both of those things were huge improvements for our situation. One is, being in Truro took a lot of driving time away from Leanne, and she was able to spend more time, visiting and helping and doing things. Thora was able to have more visitors because, well, one, she was doing much better, and two, it was easier for a lot of people to come to, to see her in Truro, because a lot of her friends and family and people that are, seeing her often and stuff would be in Truro anyways. So that was more convenient. And then, like I say, she came home on July 8th. Now, at that time, Leanne and I sort of had a bit of a highlight. We were actually going away for our 25th anniversary. We went to Disney World, and we were very fortunate to have Leanne's brother Jonathan home at that time to sort of oversee the first few days for Thora being at home and helping out, and just took a lot of the pressure off Leanne and allowed us to go and have fun for our anniversary trip. So
So big shout out to Jonathan.
yeah, huge
Yes.
thanks to him. Much appreciated. So when we got back, Leanne had a bit of a health scare.
Yes. I was told after having had a CAT scan that I have lymphoma, which a couple of weeks later, after seeing a thoracic surgeon, found out that it probably wasn't lymphoma, and instead something called sarcoidosis disease, which is an inflammation of the lymph glands. And these are the lymph glands between my heart and my lungs. The surgeon highly recommended that I have a biopsy just to be sure that it was the sarcoidosis and not the lymphoma. So after a few weeks of being terrified to have a biopsy, I did finally take the plunge, went and had it done, and very, very fortunate to find out that the surgeon's inclination was correct. I do have sarcoidosis disease and not lymphoma, which is a huge, huge relief. Sarcoidosis is a kind of a disease that in many people goes away all on its own without any intervention. In others, it may require medication. So, for example, prednisone is something that is often used to help clear it. The surgeon has recommended that I have another CAT scan in 6 months' time so that we can take a look at those lymph nodes and see what changes there may or may not be and go from there.
Perfect. So as you can hear, see, things have been a little bit crazy for us this year. We've had all kinds of ups and downs. And on top of all that, Leanne was returned to work in September. So that's been a big thing. And to make it more interesting and exciting, Leanne applied for and accepted a position in a new school and a new assignment. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I had been teaching at Tor Elementary School ever since the school opened, grade 4 most of the time, and just recently moved to grade 3. Every year I always take a look at the new positions that are coming up, and there was one I saw that really kind of caught my eye, and it was a position where I would be teaching grades 3 and 1 integrated mathematics. And I thought that would be a really interesting position to have, where I would have my main focus being on the subject of math. In the past, I have taught all of the subjects except for phys ed and music, and am thinking that with some of the health challenges that I've had in the past, that kind of the way my brain works, which tends to be quite scattered by times, I was thinking that having a major focus in on one subject would be very, very helpful to me, and that I could offer a lot to my students through having that kind of a position. So yeah, it's been very exciting getting things ready. I have had one day so far with students, their first day back to school. I am doing a graduated return to work, meaning that I have 5 days throughout the month of September when I will not be teaching, and beginning September 25th I will be full-time from that date on. So yeah, it's very, very exciting. I love my new school, and I loved my other school. This one here is they're both wonderful schools to teach in. I think that having a change is a really good thing as well. So really looking forward to the challenge.
Excellent. So it sounds like you've made a good choice, I guess, to try something different, and I'm hoping it all really works out well. So I know you've been into the school a lot over the summer and things, the last couple of weeks of August,
Right.
Getting your room set up and things like that. You're teaching in 2 different classrooms, and
Yes.
with sort of 50% or so, approximately 50% in both
Each.
classrooms, and working with 2 different teachers. So that certainly comes with its own sets of challenges and things like that. Um, but you've had your first day with your kids. So how do you think everything's gone so far?
I think so far everything's gone very well. It's been very exciting. First of all, I am just overjoyed at the fact that I am healthy enough that I can go back and teach once again after not teaching for well over a year. I'm so thankful. It's yeah, I can't go on enough about how happy I am just to be able to do my job once again. Um, as far as the actual setup of my day, I am teaching in the grade 3 classroom, a wonderful group of grade 3 students every morning until some days it's 10:15, other days it's 10:45. And at those times, I go down to the other end of the hall, the other end of the school, to the grade 1 classroom. And I have an adorable group of grade 1 students that I work with there until dismissal time.
That sounds good. So you've had one day with the kids. So have there been any challenges that you weren't anticipating?
I the only thing I can think of is I was a little bit unprepared for grade 1 students on the very first day of school. It's been a while since I've worked with little ones, and so I was very quickly reminded of how short their attention span is, and the importance of really slowing things down for them, to not go in there talking away as fast as I normally talk when I'm teaching grades 3 and up, and remembering to just give one direction at a time, and giving the children lots of time to carry out what I've asked them to do. So that was, I think, my biggest surprise and my biggest reminder. I had to go back. Actually, this past weekend I went onto the internet and looked up some tips that I found that I think will be very useful on working with grade 1 students.
Excellent. Well, I think that the students and the school are both very, very lucky to have you. I know what a great teacher you are from being married to you for all these years and seeing how passionate you are about your job. And I'm glad that you're back and feeling well and feeling ready to be passionate about teaching again and get in there and have a great time and do a great job. I know everybody out there has been rooting for you, and I want to thank you all for all your support and kindness, and through all this, not just Leanne's sickness, through Thora's sickness, and through getting back on track with all these things, all your comments and messages and just everything like that. It all really means a lot, and we're thankful to you all. And I think that Leanne is ready to have herself a good year.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else you want to say quickly before we cut this one short?
Just to repeat what you said, thank you to everyone for all of your support and well wishes throughout our last year or so. It's been quite the year.
It has been. Hopefully 2019 will bring better things for us, although looking at the big picture, 2018 hasn't been as bad as it could have been.
That's right.
We've had some very fortunate things happen. Leanne's mom is still with us, because things could have very easily gone a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Leanne could have lymphoma, so we're very fortunate with that.
Our lives look very different.
Leanne could still be in a depression.
So much to be thankful for.
Yeah, so we do have a lot to be thankful for. We are hoping that maybe, like you say, 2019, maybe we won't have quite as many challenges as we've had this year, but we are really looking forward to a great year the rest of this year, and a great year in 2019. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Thank you for all you've done to help me out. I couldn't have done all of the things and been as successful as I've been without your help. I love you very much.
Oh, I love you too. Everybody look away for a second. Didn't want you guys to have to witness that terrible smooching public display of affection. Anyways, yeah, so, we just wanted to thank you all and let you know that Leanne's doing really well. She's really happy with her new assignment. Yes. And her new school, and just looking forward to having a great year. And I think we're going to make it a good one.
Of course we are.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.